Everybody, happy Thursday, man. Nothing like a good old number going up to bring everyone back to the community as we've always discussed, man. Adam, how are we feeling today?
It was like I got somebody, one of my friends texted me this morning. It's like, stuff's happening. I was like, yeah, stuff's been happening, bro. This is just like the after effects of like months of fucking grind and in the trenches working, man. But yeah, nothing like number go up to make people happy, man. How about that?
Absolutely. Chris, man, crushing it. I just saw you put in our chat that almost over 100 daily active users in Emblem Terminal. About to hit that for the first time in a while. Feeling good as our artificial overlord.
Feeling good, man. Still have like another 7 hours in the day, so might hit 150 today.
Wow.
Really trying to scale this up to over 1,000 pretty regularly by the end of the year. So I feel like we're pretty strongly on track with that, but community is really loving all the new features. I think, just as we kind of advance further into the AI era, more people are using a ChatGPT, more people are using a Claude, a Gemini, and then they kind of see it populate in crypto and they're like, oh shit, obviously that makes a ton of sense. Crypto is a high barrier industry, high knowledge barrier industry where it's a bit confusing to anyone trying to enter. And so to have a 180 IQ plus sidekick 24/7 at your fingertips to assist with anything on-chain related, any type of research, data analytics, or on-chain executions, meme coin trading, et cetera, it's just like a no-brainer that this is going to be a huge product. So I think it's about time people start to notice what's really going on.
GM. Somebody in the Telegram says, I know Emblem AI has endless capabilities, but can it restore my 24-day streak?
Bro, you got to make the streak. You got to be able to pay for streak renewal with 1,000 Emblem or something like that.
That's a good feature. I like that. Chris, you like that?
Yeah. It's pretty common in like these in streaking platforms. Like, how much are you willing to pay to take that streak back? You can never get those 24 days back, so we'll have to see.
I like that, man. That is a good feature. We should totally add that. Yeah, we're going to dive into some Emblem information here in a second. I do want to update one migration live, Relax, which ends next week. It's at 17%, came out strong, and then slowed down a little bit in the middle, as typically most migrations do. And then on that last 48 hours, we will see a pretty dramatic upswing, as we always do. Bobo migration starts on 420 at 420. And had a lot of conversations recently with teams who want to migrate. We're going to continue to grow that out here over the next few months as the market is kind of rebounding a little bit. Emblem is live, and maybe we officially timed the bottom of the market, which was something that we were attempting to do. And I know Bobo as well was trying to do that. But here we are today. CoinGecko updated our stuff as of this morning. So we are live on CoinGecko.
Looks great.
Looks good. Right. No, we got all the stuff sorted on the back end. Actually, I was surprised, but I'm glad they put Migrate Fund in the website. This was one of our issues with Hustle, is they would not put Hustle, Emblem, and Migrate Fund in the same one. But here they did. So big win. I mean, those are like the small things that were causing a lot of issues before, but I think now it seems to be doing pretty well. Trev in the house, bro. Long time no see. Nice, good to see you. I told you, number goes up, everyone comes flooding back.
Well, number goes to 0 and then number goes up. That's the best. Right. That's good. Everybody back. So that with that one, that was just you going in and like making the application to include those. Is that how that worked?
Yeah, I think I just have such a substantial history. If you go to like my CoinGecko update forum, there's like 50 submissions of like updates across all the different tokens between like Koval and Keys and Sensorium and Hustle and Emblem.
They're like, what do you want? Done. We're done. Yeah. Go with you, man. Done.
And finally, CoinMarketCap got back to me. I had to literally submit a migration application like 5 times before they finally responded to me. But so they're in there. They're working our way. Make sure, if you're an Emblem holder on all these different websites, like deck screener and CoinGecko and stuff, the little like bullish meter that they have, whether it's like a rocket emoji or a thumbs up or whatever it is, just make sure you go hit that. Those play into like the algorithm of all these different platforms. So really goes a long way. If you're in the spaces, also I pinned up to the top the spaces and the live stream. So please make sure that you go ahead and retweet that. With Emblem, we had an awesome listing today, right? We had Mexi listed 69, almost 70,000 in trading volume. XT leading the way with 100,000. They actually migrated from Hustle, so shout out to them. I believe we do have one other exchange that had Hustle listed that's going to migrate it to Emblem. So we'll have 4 or 3 centralized exchanges, and then the DEX with Meteora combined about 250K in volume. And we're doing pretty well. See, look at the difference here. You could see the spreads. So to the spreads here, right, are much different. So these are a little bit higher and lower, just showing the depths of liquidity on all of these different exchanges. But pretty good. We are talking with other exchanges, as we've kind of said. It's a monkey see, monkey do game, right? One of Mexi is considered a tier 1, so now that we have them, all of the other exchanges that we're talking with will go through their evaluation process to list Emblem, right? Once you start getting some of the higher credible ones, then eventually the larger ones kind of play ball. It's a whole smoothing out game. It'll probably never end, but we're going to continue to grind it out. I appreciate Mexi for working with us. We got into their launch pool program. Not a lot of projects get to be in this. So it's a way to distribute the Emblem token. So 5 million Emblem, which is 0.5% of the total supply, goes to people who stake. You have to create a new account if you want to stake Emblem. So you can stake Emblem, MX, which is their native token, USD1, or BTC. Look at this APR for Emblem. There's only 3 new accounts I've created and have staked a total of 589,000 Emblem. You're making 3,100% APR. So if you, it's, yeah, so hourly interest. So for 1.5 million Emblem, these people are going to make like, I don't know, I think that's like 15,000 right now, $15,000. So they're making like $500 a day, just staking their Emblem on the exchange. Overall, though, one of our goals here is you could see the participants. So there's like about 1,000 people participating in this. The goal is to not only have the exchange listing, but also to help distribute the ownership. One of the main cruxes, I guess, of a migration is that you have all of your real holders migrate. And actually, we've had, I think almost most MFT migrators have already claimed within the first 48 hours, which is pretty crazy. But you only have, 400 or 500 active holders on the other side. Most of the holder counts across all of the real tokens are just fluffed numbers. They're like accounts that have 0.0001 token inside of them because they were like a former trading account or it's dust or whatever.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know that, and they see some of these tokens that have 100,000, 500,000 holders, and they think that's active holders. It is by no means an active holder, but so we have to find ways to distribute the token to get those numbers up. Obviously, more holders encourages more people to participate in the ecosystem. And our goal is to get 1,000 daily active users in the Emblem terminal. If that is the case, and we grow this from what's currently about to be the first 100 daily active user day in quite some time, and you get that to 1,000, we're for sure the #1 AI terminal, probably AI company in crypto that's on chain. So we're going to be implementing a lot more marketing campaigns, attention campaigns, tokenomics, and such across both of our platforms between Migrate Fund and Emblem, and hopefully it's all up from here.
It's funny because I've been chatting with friends and stuff about Emblem build, and getting people into it. And and so if anybody's listening to and you're connected with us, feel free to shoot me a DM, and I'll get your vault ID and we'll hook you up with the Emblem build product. I just don't think anybody's ready for this. Like I just think it could be amazing to see what people build on the timeline with a crypto native build product. Like, just nobody's doing it yet. Although I did see a dude, and I actually DM'd him. He's going to try out the build product as well. Did build like a shooter game on Solana using Sol, where you could bet on the game itself. But dude, he built it like from scratch, and he had to like figure out wallets and do all this sort of stuff. It took him like a month to build the thing. I'm like, bro, you could have made that in probably an hour with Emblem build, right? So super, super fucking excited. We got some sick guys gonna dive into it, some OG crypto guys. So super excited about that project, and getting these guys in the next week or so. Start
Let's
using
go.
it.
And look at all the different ways that you can speculate within the Emblem ecosystem. You can actually build the next great crypto app with Emblem build. Like, you can legitimately build real crypto apps that are usable, that might be the next biggest crypto app. You can speculate on upcoming migration tokens on Migrate Fund. You can speculate on the Emblem token itself. You can use Emblem AI to find new tokens to speculate on. I mean, just like the assortment of ways that you can use our tool set to succeed in crypto is unmatched in the industry. So even if you're just not just a token buyer, there's so much for you to do that's not available anywhere else in the industry. So it's definitely worth taking a look at.
And one of our goals, excuse me, one of our goals with Emblem, the token, is to mutually incentivize and align the token holders with the application users. One of the main issues with Koval Emblem was that the holders of Koval were not typically the users of Emblem. And I'm not saying that every token holder has to use Migrate Fund or use the Emblem terminal, but the way that the industry is maturing is very reminiscent towards what the stock market looks like, where the modern day investor, right? This is excluding hedge funds and VCs. If you're a typical retail trader in the US, or you're trading US equities, you typically use that product or have used that, or there's some sort of nostalgia. Why did GameStop pump? Because everyone, when they were young, went to GameStop, right? They're early video game players like ourselves. Why do people buy Google or go buy Tesla? They say Tesla is a cult stock because everyone is part of the Elon cult, right? And they have a Tesla, or there's some sort of relationship there. And I do feel like crypto is maturing in that way. And so to incentivize, to accrue value to the Emblem token, you need people using the products. But how do you use the products? You have to align those incentives. It's obviously the $1 billion question. Once you figure that out, then the token's probably worth $1 billion. So the people who are holding now, you essentially are just believing in our will and also our skill to figure out what that creative way is. The cool part here is Emblem is going to be the token for 2 platforms, for Migrate Fund, which already has distribution. It has 20,000 unique migrators. The website's had 300,000 unique visitors, over 1 million page visits since the platform launched last year. And then you have the Emblem terminal, which has a trading capacity.
Did we just lose Jake?
I'm here.
I've got him over there.
Oh, you got him? Okay, I lost him for a second. Sorry, man.
I'm still here. You have to damn, look, there goes my clip. There goes the clip.
Do it again, man. Start at the beginning.
At the end of the day, the build platform will be the new avenue for people to use Emblem in some capacity. And so we have some ideas on how to introduce the token into both of these platforms, one that has distribution and one that needs distribution. So you could kind of create this cyclical nature moving forward. And so that's what I'm really excited for. And now that the price is going up, we have a lot more of attention. First, we got the attention of Emblem holders because they had to migrate. Now we have the attention of new people because the price is going up. But the next step is really getting the attention of the timeline, because somebody's putting out either a gigantic winning trade like Mav used to do with the Emblem terminal, or somebody's putting out like a crazy app that is garnering a lot of attention, which circles people back to the ecosystem. And actually, I would kind of want to point out here, I noticed this yesterday. There's a company called GitLab, which is actually in the Banker ecosystem, which built their own vibe coding platform. This is on Base, obviously, but this platform took the leaked Claude system prompt and basically used that to build their own vibe coding platform, right? And it's called GitLab, and it's gotten a lot of attention, and the prices surged because of it. To me, and they're even saying the same things that we've been saying for a few months now, right? Lovable Bolt, Replit, there's an opportunity for somebody to do this in the crypto industry. Is it going to be on Base? Is it going to be multi-chain with us? Kind of focusing on Solana would be my guess first. We'll kind of see what happens here, but this shows to me that this is without a doubt the right direction. Is that agents have now kind of been beat to death in crypto over the last year. Now you need kind of application builders, and if we can get people in the community building applications and finding traction with it, and that gets onto the timeline, then essentially Emblem becomes, the quote unquote banker of the application builders, or the AI XPT of research. Those are kind of really the two breakout winners in the crypto AI space through the two, right? AI XPT was the winning KOL, which they morphed into the research agent. And then Banker was the winning agentic launchpad. And so, as crypto goes, there's always going to be new sectors forming. And so there's an amazing opportunity to be that kind of vibe coding platform.
Totally, man. I don't know if you guys saw, it seems like pre-sales are rolling back on the timeline. Are you guys seeing that happen? I saw James Wynn posted one just like an hour ago or so. And I'm like, this is the type of thing where people are so fucking out of ideas that like these old ideas are just rechurning. And I just think there's so much potential here for somebody to just have like this breakout killer app. And to be honest, it's probably going to be us, man. I mean, like, do we have the team to be able to pull off stuff like this? Like, fuck yes, dude. And we've talked about some of these ideas around basically pre-sales, but in a much better kind of unique way with time lock vaults and stuff. I just think there's some incredible opportunity here to do things that people already like, and just put real unique spins on it. So yeah, this is fucking unbelievable. It's going to be so awesome.
And everyone always likes to say how early we are in crypto, which whether we're early time-wise is up for debate, but we're definitely early infrastructure-wise, right? There's no user applications available for the everyday user today. It's literally a desolate out there in terms of like winning applications. So you see a ton of people trying to vibe code Web 2 applications. Nobody is vibe coding Web 3 applications yet. And that's where all the money is on the internet. So whether you're going to vibe code the next, NFT community game, whether you're going to vibe code the next crypto bot or polymarket bot or whatever tool you need to kind of succeed within the trenches, you're able to do that with Emblem Build. And your shot at actually hitting a winning crypto app in this environment is much, much higher than trying to hit a winning Web 2 app or a winning any other app, just because nobody else is building in this direction. And the average user has so much discretionary spend ready to deploy on any of these winning apps.
Yeah. So some updates on the Emblem migration numbers. So there's only 14% that remains in the claims vault. Mexi has 4% of the total supply on their exchange already. It's pretty good. From what I've seen with like the migration numbers, typically an exchange will have anywhere from, I've seen the smaller exchanges have literally like 0.1% of the supply. The highest I've ever seen is like 15% of the supply. I think with the Michi migration,
Yeah, that's insane.
actually had like 15% of the supply or something like that. So numbers are looking pretty good. Everything that we wanted to happen is really kind of coming circle, and most people have claimed their new tokens. So it is just continuing to push out some updates, which we will have some updates here moving forward. There was the one thing that I wanted to bring up today was Tether has basically bailed out Drift. I don't know if anyone saw this, but they, not only does Tether just have like an infinite amount of money.
Infinite money glitch.
But they're smart, right? Because basically what they did is they're trying to push the stablecoin adoption of USDT on Solana, which is heavily dominated by USDC, because Solana is a heavily backed chain by a lot of American VCs who push USDC. But Tether, right, which is basically the dominant stablecoin across the world and basically everywhere, it's heavily adopted everywhere outside of the US and Solana and some of the American exchanges. They basically took their infinite treasury and said that we're going to bail out Drift and then replace all of these stable coins with USDT. How genius is that?
So how much you think, like, is Drift like managed by a DAO or something, or is this like a VC funded thing? Like, did they get 80% of Drift for doing this? 100? Like, how much? What do you think they got as far as the percentage goes? Ownership. It's got to be like almost all, right? I mean, it has to be, or maybe not. I don't know, but it sure seems like this is a smart move by them on many levels. But they've got to basically own the protocol, right? They have to.
So it says there it's supplying 127 million in Tether from their treasury, which is part of 150 million combined support from them and other outside entities. They are working with 310 law enforcement agencies across 64 countries. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about if there was like an equity acquisition or not. I mean, honestly, for Drift, they're trying to be basically the hyperliquid of Solana, right? They're trying to be the top perps. Solana has struggled with perps trading. I don't know if it's like a technical issue or what, but I've seen on the timeline that Solana specifically struggles with perps platforms. But if they are going to be the perps platform, I don't even know if you would need to buy equity in the company if they just start denominating in Tether, because you're probably going to make the money back on fees at some point.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. It does. I mean, I just saw Paolo says Tether froze $3.2 million from hackers. Tether cares. I'm like, bro, Tether cares? Come on, man. Yeah. Bro, Tether has vested interest, and its interest is fucking money, bro. I don't believe Tether gives a shit. I think Tether is taking, I don't know. I just look at this Drift thing and I'm like, yeah, they're just, whatever it is, they worked out. This was not just Tether being nice guys. I would say Tether basically owns that place now. Like, that's the way it usually is going to roll.
Yeah, they probably have some sort of insight onto what the probability of them returning the funds are, and probably fronted the USDT, and will probably get the USDC or whatever the crypto funds that they exchange into on the back end. They were probably like the risk factor of a total loss is probably pretty low. Maybe they'll get 200 million back from the 280 or whatever it would be, and then the entire Drift platform is denominated in USDT. They're made whole from the return funds, and it's like a wash for them. Seems
but
like
they're not like, I know they issued a new token. So Drift issues a new token. Is that like, did you guys read into that at all? Like, is this like a time lock token where you got it? No, I don't know. Yeah,
they're dropping a new token. I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah.
Kind of like Bitfinex did for their hack.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that's interesting. Definitely interesting.
What else are you gonna do? You can't make the people whole, right? You can't just drop $250 million. It's like, here's a token.
Well, they have a token already.
Yeah, I know. This is gonna be like token number 2.
That's a real thing. They are doing a second token.
I saw it. Yeah, well, I saw what's his name was. I saw some guy joking about it. So, I mean, it may or not be true. Let me look it up real quick.
Another rising story is Pumpcade, and I remember when they launched, and I was gonna buy some, but I've just been strictly not trying to buy any altcoins. They're essentially a gamified prediction market on Solana, launched through Pump Fund, and they were one of the hackathon winners from the Pump Fund hackathon that happened about a month ago. Since then, they've really rocketed to like $30-40 million, and they had the Pump Fund investment of 250K. Then they had a $1 million funding round. And then they had a $5 million oversubscribed funding round. And I saw Rain, who's the migration lead. He's like their ecosystem manager, but he's the guy that we interface with for migrations. He was going on the timeline, basically, pounding their chest, saying that, and this was benefit for us. This is an issue we've run into for 10 years, is that you can go out and raise millions of dollars with a token that exists already. So they're completely trying to flip the narrative, which I hope is actually, where the industry goes. They're basically trying to encourage people to launch the token first, build a product, and then use those tokens as a display of maturation to VCs to then go and get equity on that side. And whether it converts to tokens or not, who really knows? From my understanding, when you do like a safe investment with a token, the tokens generally does not equal 1-to-1 to what the equity investment is. So if you get if somebody invests $5 million in equity, they're not getting $5 million in tokens as well. It's generally much less. But it seems like they have their winner. And I put a post out the other day and I said that one narrative one winning story funds a narrative for 3 to 6 months.
True, man.
And so I think Pump's going to kind of run with this. And if they could get 3 to 5 more of these cases, then I think that actually cements them as probably the on-chain Y Combinator type product moving forward, and then eventually kind of expand to other chains.
Yeah, well, a lot of teams are going after this, right? And most of it is focused more around I don't know, with the SOAR guys or something, just being very compliant, but the trenches just don't give a shit about that, right? And so I think Pump actually has a real advantage. Where they have the people who just want to bet on stuff. And obviously this is like a gambling thing. And by the way, I just looked it up. So yeah, Drift Protocol is issuing a recovery token. It's called, to help users impacted by the April 1st hack. So yeah, they are dropping the tokens.
It's a Bitfinex was the one who created this with Leo back in the day. And they ended up becoming a lot more whole. But speaking of Rain, here's Rain posting literally 10 minutes ago, basically saying the exact same thing that I just said, that he thinks the best part of this is that it makes the token more investable and that people have the option to get exposure in both equity and the token because the token exists already, and a company can succeed, but the token doesn't follow. And basically kind of a similar conversation that we were just having of, aligning token holders with the product users themselves. It's literally I don't know if people want to fight me on this. I did see some people in the community saying it's not fair that you can say that all of the token holders need to use the product, blah, 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 right? We're just speculators, but it's really just, that's where the industry is going. And you just see so many signs of this, and you just got to get in line. You got to be able to adapt, and you got to be able to activate your community with an existing token to use the product, which then attracts exchanges and investors and stuff, which uniformly makes the ecosystem much more valuable.
Well, dude, it's we always wanted to get past this. I mean, well, most of us wanted to get past this idea of what's it good for? What does it fucking do? Right. And we're at that state. People are building stuff that fucking does stuff. Right. So I don't know. Isn't this where we wanted to be? Did we always want nothing? Did we always want to drop tokens based on nothing? I mean, I understand it. I get it. Based on nothing, that's almost, it's that's the strategy of VCs. It's just the idea, right? The idea is better than everything. Pre-revenue, all that bullshit. But at the end of the day, and that's great for speculation, but I don't know. I think we're moving to that point now where, crypto's got to deliver some shit. And, I mean, I think we're still figuring it out very much, but, I think it's moving in that direction. I think that's a positive for crypto.
Yeah, and I think that these products, it's our job to make people want to use them. It's our job to make products that people want to use. So whether you use them or not, it's totally up to you. But the goal for our North Star is to build products that are extremely valuable for you to use in the crypto ecosystem. Whether you want to find meme coins, whether you want to do research on what the next big narrative is, whether you want to build the next great crypto product, whether you want to find out what the next great migration project is going to be, and you can get in early before it hits the next stage of its life cycle. These are all types of products that we're building so that you have the max benefit of seeing what's out there. And when the market's dead like it is now, it's very easy to see, that Pumpcade was probably going to be a big winner in the next cycle. There's only a handful of tokens, a handful of products and teams that people are actually talking about. And so when the market's dead, you can really double down on the ones that are actually making noise, actually building real, tangible, useful products. And you can bet on those tokens that they'll probably be, the next big cycles tokens.
Pratoshi says, I'm actually excited to be invested in something that works. It's live and it actually does shit.
I mean, how much longer do people want to just buy fucking Newton where it doesn't actually do anything and it's got $1 billion valuation and it's all fucking bullshit? Like, no, how long do we want to do that? Like, I don't know. I know some people want to do it forever, but it's bullshit. And, let's fucking lead into the next thing, which is real shit.
So an interesting update on Pumpcade. I didn't notice this detail. So Vaso, who's one of the team members at Pump, or maybe his contributor, says, excuse me, Pumpcade token holders now have the opportunity to get equity in the company using the token as currency. So in my opinion, it's one of the best models of tokenized equity we've seen so far. Even though the token and equity remain separate, anyone looking to invest in Pumpcade's equity has to either already hold or buy the token first. That gives the token real utility. This is the Justin Sun kind of mantra, right? You buy TRX, then we'll do a deal. World Liberty Fi does this. This is I saw Elon Musk also is doing this with SpaceX. He said that for the traditional banks that are registering the IPO, they have to hold like an X amount of Tesla stock.
Really?
To participate. Yeah, sure. This is the CZ did this with BNB, right? To participate in all of the ICOs or IEOs in 2018 on Binance when that was really going off. You had to have BNB token. So that is really cool to see that Pumpcade's going forward with that. If you want to buy equity, you got to hold the token. That makes a lot of sense. The thing though, right, is you're going to see a lot of people adopting this, but it could also go the other way. If people aren't using the product and you say you have to hold the token to buy equity, no one's going to buy it, right? Like they're like, why the fuck would I buy it if no one's using it? This is where, again, you need the token holders using the product, but I also like that equity holders need to hold the token as well, making sure that everyone is completely aligned.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. I think there are going to be interesting experiments over the next, year, 2 years during the Trump presidency, right? Where, I mean, we've discussed it. Hey, what if you like stake for X amount of time? Could that convert to equity stake or whatever? All sorts of things like that. And I think people are going to take a bunch of shots over the next couple of years, and hopefully a Republican stays in power and we still get a friendly crypto environment and can continue and actually do something that actually works. I mean, we're trying to figure something out right now. The whole industry is. And something that people like, and I don't know, we'll see, but I love what Pump's doing, honestly.
And I mean, everything is kind of going this equity equity proxy for equity route, whether it's Meteora's new deal that they're doing. Pump Fund's trying to do these kind of proxies as well. We're really bringing back like that ICO era. But they might not be the best investments, many of these tokens, but if you're looking at it like you would look at like a stock, you wouldn't invest in Apple if you don't know what Apple's actually building, or if you don't believe in what they're actually building. You wouldn't invest in Tesla if you hated Tesla cars. Why would you buy the Tesla stock? It doesn't align with your mantra. So same thing with us at Emblem. If you don't like what Emblem's building, well, then you probably shouldn't hold the Emblem Vault token. But if you've used the products, which are phenomenal, and you can actually use them all today, and you've seen how the team works, then you should probably consider buying Emblem token because you align with the vision and our ability to deliver that vision, which we've been doing consistently for over 10 years. So I don't know. Sometimes we take 5 steps forward in the crypto market and then take 10 steps back and be like, why wouldn't we just hold these useless tokens that do nothing? And it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe there's better tokens to hold that actually do something. And so lot of times it's not as
Fuck
complicated.
it, it's all stupid. Let's go back to pre-sales. That's what I want. I just want random pre-sales from fucking Carawell.
I don't want any product. Just give me the pre-sale, and then that's it.
It's meme coins.
Meme coins.
Speaking of meme coins, what do we think is next for them? Is there? I don't think they're going to go away, right? It's just casino games at this point. But if Pump's, actively moving kind of away from that, they obviously still will support it. I know Bonk is trying to go hard into the memes, but it doesn't seem like it's really working too hard. They did definitely put up $7 million in revenue, which is nice. Pays to be a launchpad. That's why everyone's doing a launchpad.
Yep.
Although I think the launchpads are not like the days of the Pump Fund conglomerate launchpad is going to be over. They're more like application focused or use case specific launchpads. And the days of trying to do everything for everyone, I think, is pretty much over. It's kind of like the L2 space, where generalized L2s are basically dead at this point in time. Even the biggest generalized L2 of Polygon is now focusing on payments. And it's almost the same thing with L1s. Like the generalized L1 basically dead. Now you have to be hyper specific. There's two generalized, or maybe 3 generalized L1s, depending on how you view Bitcoin. And then Hyperliquid's kind of like the 4th one, and that's for financial trading and financial products.
I mean, I think we're going to see another meme coin cycle. When we've seen it, I don't know, 3 meme coin cycles or 4 now. There's no doubt it'll happen again. But whether it's going to be like historical memes, whether or not dogs are going to have a run or Doge, I don't know. It feels like it's a solved game, and so people are less willing to, buy into the hype. So I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't think they're going anywhere though. There's still always this stuff. I mean, yeah, I'll see it on the timeline, whatever. Some fucking shit will pop up and it's like, oh geez, what's it? Oh, the Unk one. And of course, was that a bundled fucking highly coordinated meme coin launch? Yes, no doubt. Like when I saw they're listed on all these exchanges within like 3 days, I was like, oh, that's what's happening here. But it's all over the timeline. It's still dominating. People are still looking for that. Everybody's looking to get rich. So I don't think that's going anywhere. But I'm looking at what's next. What's the next thing? And I think we're just super positioned here. I don't know. Was it Nikita said today, like AI is the most hated. AI is maybe the only thing on earth more hated than crypto, which is amazing. And I was like, I love crypto and I love AI. Shit, what does that make me, man? But we're right here, man. We're at the fucking crossroads.
How do I find myself in the most hated industries consistently? Right. What am I doing? Man, when I think of meme coins, I think of Pepe, I think of Doge, I think of like real OG crypto memes that actually helped shape what the industry is today, like it or not. And like what I think of the most valuable thing within those communities is the distribution and how large it is. You can't get a token we talked about earlier distributed against 50,000 holders today. It's just not going to happen. But you can revert to Pepe or Doge or, even probably like Floki or Shiba or something like that. And so it's like almost like the distribution is actually the most valuable part of those tokens. And we're so down in the dumps as in terms of like where the market is that we forget how little of a gust of wind it takes to really move these things. If an institutional player wanted to deploy $10 million, $30 million into Pepe, it would absolutely rip. The whole market would rip, And we're talking about like smallest percents in terms of some of these capital allocators. So yeah, I think there will be another meme coin season. But as to what Adam was saying, and I think we've been saying it for over a year, maybe even 2 years, is that the era of ICO 2.0 is coming. This is more of an institutional asset class now than it's ever been. There's almost no retail left, whether that was by design for everyone to be pushed out, for it to actually be taken over by all the larger institutional players. That's kind of what it seems like. But it seems like we're going into the era of the product arc. We're going to have real tangible businesses that exist on chain. I know this is crazy stuff, guys. I know having an actual business connected to a token is crazy stuff. Yeah. But it's not all going to be smoke and mirrors from here on out. I think it is the era of real products, real companies, and real innovation happening on chain. And I think that's kind of the vision that we've been building for about 10 years. And so it seems like this is kind of our time to shine.
speaking of build products, Benji Taylor, who was a former base employee, hired by X for lead design within the last, I think, few weeks, says, have been really enjoying using Grok build beta the last few weeks, or I like to call it desk Grok.
Huh.
So all of the
Suspicious.
build products are coming. The only difference between our build product and for everyone else is being on chain. I was talking about this like a month ago, that I think really the only moat at this point is being on chain. That won't always be the moat, but the obstacle, right, or I guess you'd say the curve to getting on chain, that learning curve is significantly higher, because there's also a lot of kind of back end and off chain components as well, unironically, and there's a lot of social aspects and community driven. You can have these AI tools go and build AI wallets and such of that nature, but there are forever moving parts, ever changing, and the cultural layer is the biggest. So that is the moat, as they say, distribution, getting people to use it, and just signifies that we're definitely building in the right direction. As you know, the space with AI and crypto is just hyper competitive. I think, well, that intersection of crypto and AI is the first time ever in crypto's history that you have two industries competing for the same goal. You have AI and crypto both going after the super application. Fintech also kind of getting in that direction. So essentially, three of the largest industries in the entire world competing for the same thing. So the windows are going to be much more narrow for opportunity, and I like taking the risk where if you're 1 in 10 teams across all three of these industries competing for that, like I like that opportunity. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry to be the vibe coding application for not just crypto, but just in general. And obviously there will be consolidation in that point at some point in time.
It feels like the AI companies are just going to swallow everything, man. At this point, that's what it feels like, right? Yeah, just with the money. I don't know. Is one of our old friends got hired by Anthropic, and it's like the comp packages are just like retarded, right? And they're just going to buy. What do we see with the podcast that got bought up, for $100 million? It's just they're going to eat some stuff. When you have that much billions and billions of dollars on your balance sheet, you can just grab stuff. Classic Google playbook. So it's going to be great to see, man. We got to be running fast, bro. This is all I know, man. We got to run as fast as fucking humanly possible.
Yep. I mean, look at the scale. $10 million to an Anthropic is literally nothing. $100 million to an Anthropic is literally nothing. These are $1 trillion companies in the making. These are the hyper scalers. And we spend every single day in the AI space. One of my favorite comparisons is the legal industry has their biggest AI company called Harvey, $8 billion valuation for an industry that is completely repeatable, completely copyable. All the case work is out in the open. It just has to train AI data models on it. Anthropic can do that overnight, but $8 billion valuation from them. But you look at something like us, a crypto AI company, where there's massive amounts of technology on the back end that have to connect everything to the on-chain world that's not easily replicable, that none of these AI companies have any access to, and they probably won't for a while, just because the barrier to entry is quite substantial, and their users can't really even be trusted with like mature content, let alone putting their money to work on chain. It's just a totally different kind of direction from where they're going. So what's going to happen? I mean, you look at who's going to buy a company like ours over the next 2, 3, 5 years. Well, it could be a Meta, it could be an Anthropic, it could be OpenAI, or it could be a Grok, or it could be a hyperscaler like Oracle. There's just so many people that are going to need access to these on-chain AI infrastructure companies, and there's literally like 3 people building it. So totally agree. I like our odds. There's 3 to 5 companies building in this direction, and I'm excited about the progress that we've made so far.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, me as well. I just noticed that on the CoinGecko, I have to submit some categories. It's always the hardest thing to do on these fucking directories, but I'll get them signed up. Yeah, somebody says, you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up. Yeah, appreciate that. We're always always grinding, always trying to meet new people, and kind of grind it out.
When Alex Becker dropped. But I pinged. I know. Ratoshi's been pinging Alex to give it a shot, but we'll see. Once we have the build platform live, I think it's gonna be really cool to be able to send people to it.
Looks like Crossman's also been doing a lot of stuff in the AI wallet kind of space. They partnered with, looks like MasterCard. Oh, for Lobster Cash. That's like the OpenClaw. It's an OpenClaw product or an OpenClaw wallet, something. So you're gonna have agents working on MasterCard. I know Cash App has an MCP. The question, right? The narrative with AI agents is that they're going to use crypto rails, but if the option is available to not use crypto rails, which one do they actually opt for?
This is the battle, bro. We've talked about this for like 2 years. Like this is a battle that is ongoing. Crypto has an opportunity, but traditional finance, Wall Street has a big fucking they're going to put everything at it. So it's possible they win. I don't think they will, but this is not something that's just like, oh, it's going to be crypto. Not necessarily, man. Not necessarily.
Yeah. Also, for one of your statements, not just one of our friends who got hired at Anthropic, one of the former Emblem employees actually hired.
I already did bummed a disclosure yesterday. I don't know if I wanted to disclose that today.
Former good friend.
It's like, McBride, what are you doing? Yeah.
Good friend. Also, one of our close friends was hired at the Visa Crypto Studio as well. So
true.
Friends are just grinding. These crypto AI companies and AI companies are just swallowing up any crypto person possible that they can find and it's all engineers. Literally all of them are engineers. I suspect the idea guys will probably come second, but right now it's just like a talent acquisition across the board to try to get anyone possible through the door. There's not that many crypto people, right? Crypto devs, very rare. But the incentives are quite high. But we continue to grind, and you always want to, say congrats to all of your friends who are taking the next step in the space. But we're definitely on the right path. Emblem now sitting at 7.2 mil. Shout out to all the holders who are not selling, right? Just some diamond handers. The one benefit of having, an OG community who's been around for some people up to 10, 13 years, back to 2014, is that the capacity to hold is normal. That's like a normal thing. They're not, high frequency traders. They're definitely people who've been holding for some people literally 10 years, right? And so shout out to you guys, because this is the grind. On the other side of that, when you have a little bit of an older crowd, a little bit tougher to get them to use things and to change the habits. So there's two sides of the spectrum there, but you always have to kind of figure out, how do you get the old dog? How do you teach the old dog new tricks? It's kind of like the forever question. But a lot of the older habits are generally a little bit slower, which is what you need to make a price go up. Because on Solana, the whole time, maybe it's because it's a bear market, but on Solana, the whole time's gone down from I think it was like a week or like a week. Then it went down to like a few days, and now it's down to like 60 seconds or something like that.
Insane.
That's also like a byproduct of just like a much more rigorous bot network that's trading, and KOL clipper or KOLs that are in copy trading and stuff like that. But you always want more volume, regardless if the trades are much more frequent and shorter.
Yeah. I think, one last thing from me, just in regards to like all of our products, is that they're all organic. There was no paid marketing. There's no paid growth yet. To have 100, 200 daily active users on these products with no paid incentives, no paid growth, that show up every single day regularly without any incentives from us, only by their own will because they actually find the products useful. There's little to no other crypto products that actually are doing that in the ecosystem today. At this deep into the semi-bear market, where there's almost no activity on chain and people are still showing up using these products day in and day out, that's the clearest signal that you can ever get. So the community has been asking when marketing for about 18 months. Well, we're about to start marketing. We're about to start growing our products, really, really kind of intelligently, and putting dollars to work to really scale these products up to where they deserve to be. But we couldn't scale them without having the platforms at a maturity level that we were comfortable with. And they're finally there. They're so useful. They're so performant. And I think anyone that logs into Emblem AI, I mean, there's so much for you to do. There's so much to be offered there. So having daily active users in the hundreds at this stage of the market, incredible. I mean, that's easily scaling to thousands in a peak market where everybody's looking for the next thing to speculate on. So a good time to be in the Emblem Vault community.
Absolutely. And some other news, maybe I'll finally be getting my ICO tokens. Polymarket's predicting Mega ETH coming to market by the end of next month, 87% chance, with a big upswing in the last few days going up. So I participated in the Fluffle airdrop or ICO. That was, man, over a year ago. Wow. Some point in time.
That was, you bought the NFT or something, right?
The NFT. I was 1 ETH at the time, and guess what the price of ETH was? 22.50. Do you know what the price of ETH is right now? 22.50.
Fucking
so, yeah, never fails. But honestly, at this point in crypto, if you believe in something and you enjoy the product and the team, having a force hold like that, not a bad idea. Could have easily just lost that in like a hack or trading or something of that nature. So you got to celebrate the non-losses as well as the wins at some point in time, because that's just experience talking, because you can easily lose that. We are up to 5 stakers now on Mexi. So shout out to you guys making this huge 5. So make sure you guys are, if you have the opportunity, if you're non-US citizen or you have access to Mexi, then you could go get some free money there. So
that's awesome.
Take the opportunity. Ordi is also shooting like crazy. Shout out to our Bitcoin community. Ordi's up like 500% in a few days.
What
are they migrating that?
Why was that?
Ordi's migrating to RINs. No, I'm just kidding. It's just all the volume was on Binance. They have a Binance listing. I saw there's like 200 million in trading volume, and most of that's from Binance. Honestly, I like that kind of shit where it's a token just randomly up 500%, because it means that the volume's coming back to the market. People are feeling a little bit more safe for risk, which is generally what you want. Celebrate my non-losses. I'm telling you, maybe that's just experience. I mean, it's just experience.
At least I didn't lose money. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, at least I didn't lose money. We'll wrap it up here today. It was a good chat. Again, if you have access to a Mexi account, go ahead and stake your tokens. You get it for free. Obviously, evaluate your counterparty risk. As always, somebody said, is it a risk to stake? I said, always evaluate everything you're doing in crypto. There's always a counterparty risk. So you should do your own evaluation, put in as much money as you're ready to lose. That's at least how I evaluate things. And we'll be back here on Tuesday. We've got a Boba migration starting on Monday. I think we're going to have another migration starting on Thursday. And we have a few interesting calls today for people who want to move forward. So until then, migrate on, Emblem on, and we'll see you guys soon.
Later, guys.